Well, I said there might be a surprise, and I wasn't lying. Hi, my name is Troublemaker. This is Wargame Cup 2012 coverage. Tournament put on by Eugen Systems, involving over 1,400 players, and sponsored by Intel. We're going to watch a Bentguru match. Bentguru, of course, is easily top 4 players in the world. Bentguru is a doctor, I think. I believe he's a doctor, maybe pre-med, but he's a very smart guy. He has lots of time to think about this sort of stuff. And he's facing against a relatively unknown player named Regulon. So it's pretty obvious by this that Bentguru is probably going to win this. And it's questionable whether Regulon actually knows who Bentguru is. A lot of people in the tournament are new to the game, and so they're not going to know who the big stars are. So they might be just using generic tactics. Bentguru is someone specifically you have to prepare for because he uses a strategy that involves very scary clumps of units micro into perfection. This guy's average match is probably like 5 minutes, and 3 minutes of that is pre-match preparation. So this is a very scary guy. He does this build. You can learn to do this build yourself, but I should stress this. That it's not the build that is great, it's the player. There are other people who have tried out this build. I think Derek's has, I think Satire has. And they've done it relatively well, but not as well the execution as Bentguru. And you got to remember that Bentguru is always, in every single tactical game, done builds like this. I'm pretty sure he played Ruse and Company of Heroes. I'm pretty sure he did this exact same stuff. So he's very experienced at this. He knows very well. Maybe if you beg Bentguru enough, he'll take you under his wing and teach you after the tournament. But this is something else. This is a style that I do enjoy watching because it is very fast-paced. Now keep in mind, it is destruction mode, and this is how confident Bentguru is. He only has one command right now. Now keep in mind, he did choose a very armored command, one that's less likely to get killed, but he's very confident with his winning ability here because he's only put in one command. Most people will put in minimum 2 commands, and this is generally a map that's one command, that's usually one command only. I've seen even 3 and 4 commands on this map just because people want to secure their victory. So here we go. So if I was to describe his style, basically what he does... Oh, here's the second command. Never mind. Not so arrogant are you, Bentguru. Is he rallies a lot of units forward on the move fast command and takes whatever the key location is on the map with him, and then he spreads his units up so that artillery cannot destroy them. And then he uses a fire position command on where he thinks enemy units are, and then if an enemy reveals itself, he quickly cancels the move, the fire position command, and issues a right click. And he does this with a lot of micro. Now, keep in mind, all these units are in groups and clumps. So if he sees artillery, he will split them up immediately. He does have a recon doing a dance with this other recon. Neither recon really wants to get too close to each other because there's always a fear of something like Marder Roland being right-clicked on it. Now we see from Regulon, he's going for something pretty standardized. He's going for, except a lot of infantry. He's got a lot of anti-tank weapons though, which will do very, very well against Bentguru's build. But he does have a lot of tanks, which of course will not. And he actually has the Buratino, and if he was to fire the Buratino well, not right now, but very soon, this would have a huge impact on Bentguru's style. And this is what I feel to be one of the weaknesses of Bentguru, is that if you were to rush a artillery and just fire on the key road, you would destroy a lot of his units. And I'm sure a lot of higher player level players know this, but not necessarily somebody like Regulon. But maybe he does. Who knows? There is an actual supply truck here as well to refuel these vehicles. When this goes down, it's going to be crazy. Now, look how many marder VTSIs are in this group. That's like 3, 6, 9, 12. He just loves this marder VTSI unit. Of course, it's a very multi-purpose unit. Very specifically good against tanks, though. And there's not many tanks in this grouping here for Regulum. So now here comes the push. And this is just madness incarnate. I always love seeing these kind of pushes. Now keep in mind, there are a lot of conquerors here, lots of anti-tank weapons, so this push will not have the normal sting that it normally has, which is cleaning everything up with relatively no problems. This style is also very very well crafted. He has a very interesting balance of tank destroyers and anti-infantry weapons, and just enough so that he can't lose all-ins of helicopters, and he can't lose all-ins of tanks, and even infantry are going to have problems. And here we go. already. You can see the multiple flanks coming in, a complete surround. This is what I'm talking about execution. He hasn't split up his units, he hasn't had a need, there's no artillery map, but once these Buratinos wind up, he's going to split up very quickly. The marder vtsi's armored unit leading the charge. Various units coming at different flanks, and this is the madness. Here comes the blast from the Buratino. And the marder vtsis are completely unchecked, unstunned. You can see these are all rank 1 marder vtsis. And lots of pounding on these mountain structures. So far, Regulon is actually ahead though, because there aren't many tanks for Bentguru to destroy. Regulon continues to be in the lead. Anti-aircraft units are very good against infantry. You might be able to clean this up. He's got to clean up a lot of these tanks, so clean up all the tank units with these tank destroyers. And actually, this might be a huge loss for Bentguru, something he didn't quite expect. A lot of tank destroyers have been deployed to deal with this, and he's just doing a little bit dance with his forces. All of them moving back as they get injured, moving them back from being targeted, and continues to push units forward. There's no targeting here. Barely saves a single marder VTSI as new units come to the fold, and this could be a Bentguru loss. It's possible he might get kicked out of the tournament. I, of course, have not seen this match yet, so this could be anything. And wow, I just haven't seen someone survive as long as Bentguru. These tanks have actually gained 2 veterancy points. These infantry is not so much, and it looks like they're all destroyed. Bentguru moving up in points again. Looks like all the rockets might be vanishing for the Conquerors. They desperately need supply, and looks like somehow Bentguru has managed to magically make his way by. Now keep in mind, most of the vehicles are running out of fuel, so this little dance is slowing down, and he does need to get some supply trucks here if he wants to continue this push. If he takes too long, his enemy can respond. If he does it too fast, he runs out of fuel and he's stuck in awkward positions. But it looks like he's going to clean up all these Conquerors just because they've run out of ammunition. And so have these Moto Strelokis, and he's got a lot of units rolling out. New position coming up with these tank destroyers, trying to destroy these T-55s. This is a very good trade for him. Topaz is coming from the back flank for Regulon, who looks like he tried to prepare for this in some regards because he has all the right units. Buratinos are being refueled and restocked with ammunition. And Pai Chota Zemek Floyd. Hello, I'd like to apologize. I have the game back to roughly where I had it. A little bit of a story, maybe a bit of an intermission story into this action. My girlfriend bursts into the room and goes, "Paul, they're taking pictures of dogs at the SPCA." That just happens that we have 4 dogs. So we go down there, pay for 4 dogs, get their pictures taken, and then we rush off. And that is why my game has been interrupted, why a Bentguru game of all has been interrupted. And during this intermission, I'd like to note something very specific. Bentguru has been fighting this battle for 4 to 5 minutes. The average battle for most people lasts seconds, milliseconds. This guy's been fighting a battle for 4 to 5 minutes, and the kind of mind it takes to be so focused on all this. Also note, there are groups of topazes heading south, and this is not exactly something that Bentguru has covered. He has some of Vulcans, but the Chapanel is not going to be good enough. So this could be a weakness in his play. And now we will continue from here. Bentguru making some inroads and actually gaining massively in score. The enemy's running out of ammunition from all these anti-rocket weapons. And it's only a few things left on this map here for Regulon. Of course, the strength of this kind of tactic comes in numbers. Bentguru has all of his forces in one location. It can wipe out every unit cost effectively, whereas Regulon has his units split up, and he's slowly shifting them over to try and deal with this ridiculous sized barrage. Another big part of this is after he takes his position, now keep in mind this is a very, very forward position, he will be able to just hold on to this ground and play a very standard game. And you note that Bentguru has also placed all of his units in cover along this line, kind of scary. And I'm sorry if I'm not giving much attention or credit to Regulon, who's actually doing a fairly good job of defending this. He has a lot of the right units, and looks like he's moderately pretty well prepared for something like Bentguru. But we like to focus on Bentguru because he has a style that a lot of people try to emulate. Looks like he's forfeiting that AML. There are some Zalos here being deployed. And we see a lot of aircraft, and of course aircraft are covered by a large amount of anti-aircraft, and the Buratinos are covering the ridiculous number of forces. This has actually been a harder fought game for Bentguru than what would normally be seen from him, and it's marder vtsi versus BTR-70 Zolo. Ultimate win? No. BTR and BMP-10. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a whole flank over here. It's possible. Ever so possible. Bentguru could actually get knocked out of the tournament from this crazy flank. You see the Piechota Zemex are coming out and shooting rockets at a lot of these tank destroyers. This is quite a sad situation for Bentguru. Not able to microwave its way out of this yet, and these are all rocket based, meaning they cannot fire on these infantry, but we do have two tank destroyers, one tank destroyer that actually can fire. Is it enough? That's a good question. And they're all actually all out of fuel, caught in that systematically awkward situation. There we go. Volkman's deployed. The Zala is moving forward into range of these M113 rockets, and marder vtsi is chasing down Moto Strelki. Not exactly the greatest trade going to happen here. Nope. And oh my god, is it possible? Is it possible my hero Bentguru is actually going to get eliminated from the tournament? It's actually looking like that because he's taken some pretty serious losses here. On top of that, he doesn't have exactly a giant lead. He does have Echo, he does have Foxtrot, but I mean, his enemy still has two commands. Now his enemy is moving his command out of the way just so that it can survive. And yeah, it looks like this push has actually been shut down, and Bentguru is not nearly as far ahead as normal. Wait a minute, we have some tanks running into some anti-tanks, and this is a nice opportunity for him to catch up. Maybe he can. You can see M113s as the tanks come through the field. You got some Zalos supporting though. Lots of Zalos actually. And whoa, some random Hippie Hogs coming from Bentguru, who's playing against an opponent who doesn't have a lot of anti-air. And he's actually deploying an insanely high amount of air units. He's doing the very typical tank destroyer into helicopter transition that we see very often, and he's just going to go for it, man. He is going for it. Tank destroyers are going to wipe out as many tanks as possible. He's actually wiped out most, only anti-air is this Tunguska here. If he can get rid of that Tunguska, there's not any anti-air left for Regulon. Regulon, that's his name. We can actually see toes actually as well. Very cheap rocket-based anti-tank weapons, unloading, trying to get anything it can on this field, and he looks like he's going to reveal this right away. He's going straight for these gunship helicopters, and he's going to send in the remainder of whatever's left. Of course, there isn't much anti-air left on the map for Regulon. In fact, he's completely abandoned this command here. Could be an opportunity for Bentguru, who is now coming in with an insanely high amount, but he's losing Cobras en masse, actually, to a lot of Conquerors and Moto Strelkies in the woods. And the points total for Regulon is playing quite well, surprisingly well, against one of the heavy hitters of the tournament. It's not going well for Bentguru at all. He's trying to take out infantry with Cobras, not a great trade, and you got some Tunguskas in the distance making the fire, and there are some anti-aircraft here deployed as well. This is not going well at all. This is not very typical. Bentguru is still trading relatively well, considering how floppish this went. He is still relatively even with his opponent, and if he can do something with these helicopters, he can still win the game. Now keep in mind, this is a very, very isolated command right now. Very, very easy to take. The Roland 2 is actually going to unload on these gunships, pushing these gunships away. The Tunguska is winding up. We're seeing a very good split of helicopters here from Bentguru, but is it really enough? That's the question. If we can take it this Tunguska, this command is most definitely going to be forfeited, as well as the Buratino. There's actually a recon actually sneaking around the back as well, just trying to spot for these helicopters. And looking at the vision cam of Bentguru, he doesn't actually see anything. He's actually just using the fire command on that location, and this command is not really sure what to do. It is running back into the wrong position, and oh my god, is he going to get, he might get the Buratino. He's in fact going to get the Buratino. More heavy hogs are being deployed. This is the scariness of this kind of strategy. Once you run out of a certain type of unit, he's just coming at you with a bunch of helicopters. This is stylistically Bentguru. This has been copied and forfeited and counterfeited and over, with more Tunguskas being rallied on, and Bentguru does see them. If he can get the command, that would be huge, and he does. He gets the command. Now, there are lots of anti-aircraft here. He has to immediately vacate the area. He has gotten his objective. And now he has to pull back to these marder roll-ins, which are still critical on munitions. And there are still some tank destroyers here, which will get taken out by these Spetsnaz who are rushing down the field. Of course, these cannot attack the Spetsnaz. They are rocket-based. And we see some Hemmets actually deployed, trying to peel up this tank destroyer, but just not in time. And it's still a lead for Regulon, but with only one command on the map, and this one command is very isolated from the remainder of the army. This is going to be a very clear Bentguru win. It's kind of painful to see this because it looks very obvious to me that Regulon mostly outplayed Bentguru as far as the actual battles went, but as far as positioning went and as far as the playstyle, it was a very big Bentguru win. And Bentguru is actually doing another switch into lots of infantry. So we went from anti-air and anti-tank weaponry into helicopters, and now he's shifting into infantry. Just cheap finishing units. He has a pact in here as well. And whoa, this toe is completely empty. The Hemmet also empty on supply. And now it's this awkward situation where Bentguru actually has to do a little bit of defending. He doesn't really have the finances to wipe out this command, and unfortunately for Regulon, he needs to relocate his forces around this command. Because the only advantage he has right now is the lead, which is a pretty sizable advantage at that, but all the same, like, it's kind of getting sketchy. We do have some Saracens trying to deal with these Spetsnaz. There's some Saracens there as well. I've actually never seen, this is kind of an odd thing, the units, the infantry play of Bentguru. The games usually don't go this far. Bentguru usually doesn't have this kind of a challenge. And here we go, he's actually deploying paratroopers. Paratroopers in Saracen vehicles, kind of an odd combination. I'm sure there's some logical reason for this. And these Spetsnaz are just becoming too much. He's got a patent tank being deployed. He might try and line this thing up and hit this. But no, he's actually just going to continue to take some losses here. I'm kind of amazed this game is going on as usual, as long as possible. And you have to give your props to Regulon. He's definitely surviving this, and it's kind of terrific. It kind of means that if he gets eliminated here, he could have probably been a top 16 player. And it was just unfortunate for him to hit Bentguru on the ladder. It also looks like he prepared quite a bit, because he had enough income available to get a Tunguska on the map. And Tunguskas aren't cheap. So that's something about this guy that you have to give him credit. When we get back into regular season away from the tournament, he might be somebody worth watching. Definitely very good at beating these pushes. And yes, it looks like the game will in fact slow down. The Regulon does have to lead, so there's no honus on him to really make any big push. And look at this. He's actually going to move the command over to Bravo. A very risky move, but there's really not much that can hit him right now. So from the viewer's eye, it's not a bad move, but moving this command is going to be risky. Don't count on a Bentguru who's going to sit for too long. He will sit, he will macro rack up, and oh my god, here we go. Back to something a little more familiar for this map. He's actually deployed an AMX OFI, which of course plays onto the macro style of this map, and he's actually just going to shell out the front location. This is just really bizarre. I just don't think that Bentguru himself has really gotten this far in a game to the point where he's playing what we think of as standard. Lots of infantry and artillery. Tank destroyers, not a lot of tanks. Anti-air, not a lot of air. And that's what he's doing, and the command is at this location at the top, probably the most secured. The Buratino still has some rockets left on it, so we can still have some firing power. But this AMX OP does change quite a bit in the game, and suddenly Bentguru is actually showing something very different. He's playing position play now. He's going to slowly creep up his forces with his economic advantage, and he's going to create a flank around the enemy before he attacks. Either that or he's just stockpiling forces. Oh, here comes... Oh my god, Bentguru, what are you doing? He's got another command coming out. Looks like he might try and take Delta for some double dip action. And he's actually vacating his marder rolling to a different location. Yes, he's actually using this to scout any crazy action. And wow. 2 commands. He's moved the command from Golf. And he's actually taking Echo and Delta and Foxtrot. Madness. Absolute madness. it shows you a lot of confidence in his play. He's actually playing from, well, not anymore. Now the artillery is making a huge difference. He's moved the Saracen up probably a little bit too early. Probably needs more shelling with this artillery. And he's actually playing very defensively. And honestly, from here it's very standard. He did the opening damage he did. He got the command kill. And now he's just going to shell out location. Look how good his scouting is. How could anyone else find this? Nobody else in the tournament was able to find this crazy little move. And he shot it as it was moving. God, he's so good. And look at this. Gazelle helicopter. He's got Cobras actually going to snipe out all these BTR pies. Which of course are your nice little anti-infantry vehicle. Just getting all these small wins, and suddenly Bentguru has sort of flipped the game around again and is taking a very sizable lead. Oh, Regulon just shot down a scout helicopter, taking the lead back. Those are expensive. Shouldn't speak so soon. And this is, you know, a very standard mid game in which it's now coming to the point where the player who's behind at the near the end of the game is going to have to make some move, and we can already see that Regulon, who was defending the Bentguru push, actually has something in mind already. He's gone for a lot of topazes, and we're seeing from Bentguru actually a lot of these Weasel support vehicles. Actually, 16 of them, 16 Weasel support vehicles. So he's going to go for some kind of crazy tank anti-infantry push, it seems, or a support vehicle. Don't ask me what the difference is. But, oh my god, 8 mortar carriers. So that's 8 plus 2. That's a lot of artillery. He's going to do a hell of a lot of shelling out. And he might try to win this entirely on just an artillery count, which is totally possible. A lot of players do this, and it's just really common. It's not surprising at all that a player the caliber of Bentguru would lower himself to a low micro game of artillery spamming. And once these mortars start unloading, you will see a pretty big difference in score. That's 8 mortars pounding on front and side locations. Now, here's a key difference from, say, Bentguru and most players as far as artillery style goes. And I don't want to talk too nicely about him, because we're supposed to hate him and his cheesy ways. But he always picks places where he knows troops are. And not only that, but easily killable ones with artillery. Most players will just do what I call responsive artillery barraging, whereas there's absolutely no preemption. And speak of the devil, we have lots of Weasels moving up with some Fusiliers, 40 Fusiliers. The BTR Zolls are winding up, and here we go. He's opening with some mortars on this front position. Could actually completely take out this Pietchota Mech squad, which of course are pretty cheap, so it's not a huge loss. But it's enough to give Bentguru a sizable lead. And with this much artillery, as he's pushing up, he'll just be able to wipe out everything. Everything. Area of effect damage becomes very, very good early on. And look at this. Like, it's just another push. Of course, his resale still have a lot of fuel capacity. 350 for 4 versus, is that 1500 for 1? Are you kidding me? So yeah, these Weasels do run out of fuel pretty fast. And he's going right in. Does not care. He's going for Tunguska. Tunguska is a very high-powered target, and he can actually continue in going for that Buratino. He's spinning all the way around, has a complete flank on this position, which is also being shoved out by mortars. And the Buratino is winding up, trying to hit this location here. Looks like he might get a hit on the Weasel, and he gets a couple of hits actually, and stunned and panicked. But we see the Weasels are continuing forward and winding up. The Buratino being pulled back first. The command should get pulled back relatively soon. He's splitting up his Weasels to try and hunt down this command armor because he knows that the match will end the second he gets command armor. It's winding up. The command armor is getting shot on. This could be the end, folks. This could be, and that is it. Bentguru with his attack, and look at this guy, 1800 versus 2000. This is easily a top 16 player. Regulon, hats off to you. You gave Bentguru from Team Awesome a real shake, and he knows it. He absolutely knows it. I will say, if you face Bentguru next, he is someone you have to prepare for. Him, Tiga, Komarami, these are all high-hitting players. You gotta actually watch their matches and really understand what they're doing and craft a deck specifically for them. Because Bentguru showed us something new today. He did his standard marder vtsi, switch into air, and then he went to standard play with a lot of artillery. So this guy is really smart, and you're just gonna have to be one step smarter, or smarter, or one step ahead. You're gonna have to be really smart to beat this guy. He's really smart. Possibly a troll, but he's very smart. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this match, and as always, I'll have more matches tomorrow.